Meanwhile, Senate Republicans are now revising their health care bill in an effort to win over skeptics before the July 4th break. Sources tell CBS News the bill now includes $45 billion to pay for treating opioid abuse. The bill will also let people pay health insurance premiums with money they set aside in their health savings accounts.
Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is hoping to have the plan revised by tomorrow so it can be scored by the Congressional Budget Office during the holiday break. Meanwhile, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says it's time to bring Democrats into the process.
President Trump, I challenge you to invite us, all 100 of us, Republican and Democrat, to discuss a new bipartisan way forward on health care in front of all the American people.
Let's bring in Jill Colvin. She's a White House reporter for the Associated Press, and she joins us now from the North Lawn. Jill, let me just start real quick with the president's recent tweets where he really sort of gets personal in attacking two journalists.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I mean, this is a pattern that we've seen now from the president over and over again, attacking journalists. Interestingly, the president noted in his tweet that he doesn't actually watch Morning Joe anymore, and then launched into an attack on the two hosts. This is part of a pattern that we've seen, especially over the last couple of weeks, of the president really tearing into the news media.
Yeah, it seems perhaps because of the resignation of those three reporters at CNN that the president, including his surrogates, are becoming a little bit more bold or are sort of
definitely
on the offensive now.
Has bolstered the argument that the mainstream media cannot be trusted, at least on their end. But
this is a personal attack. I mean, this is a sitting president of the United States getting very personal, something that I think is unprecedented.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
We'll keep watching that.
So, Jill, let's talk about this health care bill. Mitch McConnell wants a revised version of this bill sent to the CBO by tomorrow. Seems like a pretty tight schedule. Can it be even scored quickly enough to be available to be voted after this holiday break? I thought to myself, gosh, the people working at the CBO are like, thanks for ruining my 4th of July weekend. I guess we'll be working through the holiday.
I mean, this is an extraordinary kind of fight that's going on right now. A lot of backroom dealing as Mitch McConnell tries to put together enough votes to get this legislation through. This is a very, very complicated task, kind of threading a needle between the more moderate senators who are really interested in ensuring that, there's still subsidies for healthcare premiums for low-income people, to ensure that there's still Medicaid funding for programs like opioid abuse treatment. And then you've got the more conservative senators who would like to see this cost a heck of a lot less. So he's got a very difficult job ahead of him. The goal is to get this finished by tomorrow so that it can be scored and somehow get to a vote before the senators leave for their August recess.
Jill, we also heard that Senator Chuck Schumer is calling on the president to bring Democrats into the discussion. That call has been echoed by Republican senators like John McCain and Susan Collins. So what needs to happen to get us to that point?
I mean, the president said yesterday that there was some big surprise brewing, so it's always possible that, Republicans, that the president could wind up inviting Democrats to the table. But, by all appearances right now, that does not appear to be a likely scenario here. The Democrats' demands here are far beyond what any of the moderate senators are requesting at this point. No Democrat supports this legislation. And so it really seems like the direction this is headed is not for a bipartisan bill, but for a Republican bill that brings enough members to the table.
You remember when the House was hammering out their version of this bill. The president was pretty outspoken. He went and spoke to lawmakers. The sense was that, he could pull them along if no one else could. What is your sense of the president's level of sway among senators, though? Does he really have any significant impact?
Yeah, we've seen a very different tact here from the president. A lot of the kind of behind-the-scenes work has been left to Vice President Mike Pence. The White House also took the position that they would leave most of the early negotiating to Mitch McConnell, despite the fact that they claim he's been, heavily engaged, making calls over the weekend, meeting with folks. He had invited them all to the White House a couple of days ago. At this point, the president is not really investing a heck of a lot of political capital in this deal. The way he's talked about it has been a little bit wishy-washy, saying, you know, it's okay if this doesn't pass, but, you know, we'd like a bill. And so at this point, it doesn't really seem as though, you know, the president is pressuring any of these members all that hard.
Yeah, except, Jill, what happened there with that ad that was taken out, that super PAC ad that was taken out against Senator Dean Heller of Nevada, who is probably the most vulnerable Republican senator right now? Apparently, according to some reports, Mitch McConnell was really upset at the White House for that.
Yeah, that's what our understanding is, that Mitch McConnell was pretty infuriated by that effort, really thinking that it backfired. Why would Republicans attack a vulnerable member of their party? He's one of a number of members who at this point have serious hesitations about the bill. One thing I thought was notable, though, was that Heller was actually spotted at President Trump's first re-election fundraiser last night at his Washington, D.C. hotel. Sources in the room told the AP that there was a little bit of ribbing going on with you know, folks encouraging all the senators there to vote for the bill. So we thought it was notable that he had actually attended.
Notable indeed. Jill Colvin of the Associated Press. As always, thanks, Jill.
Thank you.